Hey, what's up, guys? Ben from My Sports Stop here with Richie Donnell. Today, our scouting report is on Jonathan Allen from Alabama. It seems like Nick Saban, he's like the Santa Claus for NFL GMs. He just keeps giving gifts.
Yes, he does.
And his next one is a great defensive lineman, Allen.
Yeah, Jonathan Allen's one of those guys that at the beginning of the season, everybody pegged him for a top 5 pick. He played like a top 5 pick, went to the combine, and showed that he's a top 5 pick. So this is a guy that just answered everything that was thrown at him, lived up to the hype, lived up to the expectations. And, you know, in my report, you know, I talked about when you're a defensive end, you know, when you get into that 30 to 50 tackles range, total tackles range, you're doing pretty good for yourself. This is a guy that got 70 tackles last season. It is unbelievable. And, you know, you talk about 41 tackles for loss for a career, plays the run well, gets to the quarterback, 27.5 career sacks, does it all.
Yeah, and absolutely incredible player. And I think the great part about him is he's great in every area. People talking about him as a 3-4 defensive end or a 4-3 deep tackle. Really doesn't matter. He can play anywhere.
He can, and that's why I gave him the comparison that I did, and that's to J.J. Watt. Somebody who's been able to play inside and outside, but in the 3-4. Whereas I think coming out of high school, or coming out of college, I mean, J.J. Watt was a defensive end for the Badgers, and had he been drafted to a team that ran the 4-3, I think he would have been, if he still put the weight on, would have been a defensive tackle, but has made a living as a defensive end and sometimes playing the nose when they bring in their edge rushers. That's something that I can see Jonathan Allen doing as well, being able to bounce around versatility-wise. And at 290 pounds, if they say, hey, we want you to bulk up to 300 or 305, I don't think it's going to hurt him at all.
And one thing a lot of people don't know about Allen is he came into Alabama as an outside linebacker.
This is a guy that's got elite athleticism, like you said, playing outside linebacker, especially at a school like Alabama. If Alabama's recruiting you as an outside linebacker and you can move down and then play defensive end and possibly even D tackle, you're an incredible athletic human being.
Absolutely. And you know, it's hard to find a knock on this guy. He's skilled in just literally every area. But I think one thing a lot of people are going to say about every Alabama defender is, well, he's playing with a lot of great talent at his disposal. Do you see that as an issue?
I don't think so. The one thing with Alabama players is the one position that's gotten the most scrutiny is corners, just because that's Nick Saban's strict position that he coaches. But when you look at guys that have come out of Alabama over the last couple of years that play along the defensive line, they've all found ways to succeed. Just look at Marcel Darius up in Buffalo. That's probably the closest thing, because him, like Allen, comes from the same scheme. They have the same coach. This is Nick Saban's defense. It hasn't changed since he's been there. And Darius did the same things that Allen's doing at Alabama. So, I mean, if you really want to look at how that transition happens, just look at Darius and the things that he's been able to do in Buffalo and the type of player he's become.
Yeah, and you talk about NFL comparisons. You know, you have J.J. Watt. I have Gerald McCoy. You know, coming out of Oklahoma, he was such a big prospect, and I think he was relegated more to inside because that's just the system he played in. But with Allen, he's a better version of Gerald McCoy, in my opinion, just because of the versatility and the athleticism. So, but I mean, even if he had a career like McCoy, he'd be a bargain.
Yeah, this is a guy, you know, and I mentioned it in the top 10 video, but I'm going to mention it again. This is a guy who, if you don't take him number one, you know, Myles Garrett is, don't get me wrong, by far and above, he should be the first player taken. But this guy could make Cleveland pay for taking Myles Garrett over Jonathan Allen. That's just how talented this kid is. It's hard to say that somebody can make you pay for taking a bona fide number one pick. If he falls to number 2, it's already a steal.
So you think he's a top 5 pick, just a lock?
I think talent-wise, yes. Whether teams find, based on need, you know, depending upon what they do, with San Francisco having taken 2 defensive ends in the last 3 years, it's really going to come down to preference. But talent alone, if you don't take him in the top 5, you're going to be regretting it every single day.
I agree. And the time I've been paying attention to the draft, there's only been one defensive tackle who I think has been worthy of the #1 overall pick, and that was Ndamukong Suh coming out of Nebraska. I don't think Allen is #1 overall prospect, but he's very close.
Yeah,
he's right up there.
Yeah, he's about as close as it comes to be. If it's like, if your #1 prospect's like a 100%, he's that 99.9% just because if he does play defensive tackle, do you really take it to be defensive tackle #1?
Yes,
that's
exactly.
the only 0.1% that doesn't make him that 100.
Exactly. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember to go on our website, mysportstop.com, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more original videos.